podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
No question for that.
So, we have come to the end of Game Club.
We have. That was last week. It is.
Well, no, but this is a nostalgia look back.
Game Club squared.
Yeah. Game Club Epilogue. That's what we should. That is what we should call this episode. Game Club Epilogue. Hope everybody enjoyed the bonus content last week. It was nice to. We did so much before. We should probably put that out.
For once, that was not me screwing up.
Did people message you? I did think you're probably going to get messages saying, "Hey, do you know the bonus content is in this?"
No, I didn't actually. Yeah, no, I got a few messages complaining because for some reason Patreon took down the audio file and then I had to re-up it. So it was weird. But yeah. No,
so we did.
You screwed up again, Ed.
We did 20 episodes, and what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to pick a best 11 of United players, based not on every United player that's played for the club in this time.
Not the literal best 11.
No, because that would just be United's best 11 ever, really, unless you're going to go back to the Busby Babes and somehow pick someone from the post-Fergie era, which I don't think too many people are putting them in their best all-time 11. But what we did was we're trying to base it on performances in the games that we've watched. And by necessity, that means that one-off individual performances will be heightened because there are some players we only saw once.
Yes, for I think many of my picks are one-off performances. Some are aggregates, and some were very good in aggregate, but they were ousted by one-off performances. But we'll go through that.
Absolutely. So these are the games that we covered in Game Club. The 99 semi-final replay against Arsenal, the 7-1 against Roma, Cup Winners' Cup final, the legendary 4-3 against Madrid, the 3-3 in the group stages of the 99 Champions League campaign against Barcelona at Barcelona, the 5-3 at Tottenham Hotspur, the Veron Beckham one, not the other one, the 3-2 where Keane scored late and Cantona got a brace against City, the 3-3 from 1986 between Spurs and Manchester United, the 3-2 Robin van Persie game against City, Rooney's debut against Fenerbahce and Ronaldo's debut against Bolton, the 96 FA Cup semi-final, a game that I forgot we'd covered and I couldn't remember what it was, and then I remembered and it was an absolute cracker. Again, we beat Chelsea. The 1968 European Cup final, the 1977 FA Cup final, the 2016 Martial winner FA Cup semi-final, the 2009 Champions League semi-final destruction of Arsenal, Eric Cantona's comeback 2-2 against Liverpool, the 99 semi-final against Juventus, the Champions League final from 2008, Dimitar Berbatov's magical hat-trick in 2010 against Liverpool, and Fergie's last game in 2013. So that is
quite a list.
Yeah, it's quite a list. And honestly, it's been so much fun.
And that's like half a season, and we went undefeated.
Got knocked out of the Champions League and won the Champions League, though, which is weird. Yeah.
This is true.
And won several in one season. We won the FA Cup, we won the league,
the Champions League, the Cup Winners' Cup,
and the Cup Winners' Cup. That's the real trick, winning both of those in one season.
Have Liverpool ever done that?
So on Sunday we're going to record an end of season preview for the World Cup of the Premier League that's about to kick off.
Well, and European competition, which looks like it will be played in August,
right? And the FA Cup is being played. It seems,
yes.
They were even talking about having a reduced audience in attendance at that FA Cup, depending on how things go. Maybe not looking fantastic in terms of how things are going. But yeah. So, I wanted to talk a little bit before we start about some of the opposition players that we've enjoyed watching. I tried to make a best 11, but I got as far as Roma's keeper from the 7-1 and then sort of lost
if
track.
you're picking a keeper in a game that a team lost 7-1...
Yeah. I can
think of a keeper. I came up with like half a dozen players that have been fun to watch, and I probably missed some. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with like the only defensive player that I could think of that I particularly enjoyed watching. That was Ronald Koeman, who was very good. I think we saw him
91 Cup Winners' Cup final.
Yeah, that's right. And he played very well in that game, especially I think if I remember rightly, especially in the fact, of course, he scored that free kick. Makelele from the 2008 Champions League finals, maybe a bit of a stretch. He was pretty effective in the second half of that game. And this is where it starts to get interesting, really, is with forward players. So I think the player that I had forgotten how much I liked and really kind of rediscovered in this was Rivaldo.
Yeah, from that 3-3 at Camp Nou. Yes, he was excellent that day.
Yeah, and scored maybe the best goal, apart from the Berbatov one, that we saw in the whole run. Yeah, with the overhead.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous goal.
You'd have Figo and Zidane, probably both in this team. I mean, Zidane we saw a couple of times, and he was absolutely magnificent.
From the game at Old Trafford rather than the Zidane Juve 99.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrible in the Juve 99 game, but he wasn't as good as he was in that Old Trafford game. Obviously, you'd have Ronaldo in that team.
I mean, it's funny when we talked about Ronaldo from that game. He wasn't actually that great in the game, but he's got a ridiculous hat-trick. So
yeah. I think I might put Eusebio in the team as well.
He was very good in the 68 final, and clearly respected by the United team, who gave him 20 yards of space every time he got the ball.
As they often did for Yaya Toure, who was quite good in defeat in that 3-2 game. And Glenn Hoddle, who was
always nice to look at. Not good to listen to, but he's a weird man. You could call out Pippo Inzaghi, of course, for scoring twice, although one of them extremely fortunate, and then he was offside 98 times or something like that.
Inzaghi was like such an odd player to watch, but his movement in that game was, for a player gets caught offside all the time.
And Robbie Fowler in the 2-2 versus United, Cantona's comeback was very good, scored a really outstanding goal as well.
And Robin Van Persie for that one cross.
Yeah, but that's
did
for
Arsenal.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough talk about opposition players. I think one thing that we have done all the way through this is not really watch the opposition much, except for basically those players who we've kind of called out on the individual episodes, I guess.
Yes, it's been an interesting run of United not losing, not playing crap ever, winning a lot of games, scoring a lot of goals, conceding a lot of goals. There's a lot of high-scoring games in this run of games we picked.
That's why it's so hard to pick defenders, isn't it? Because by definition, like every defender had a bad game at some point.
Yeah, that's true. So goalkeepers, any thoughts on revising your long-held and completely wrong assertion that David De Gea is United's best ever keeper?
I mean, there was just that one season where it kind of looked like, realistically, if he'd stayed in the form that he had in, was it Mourinho's first season where we finished sixth, that one? Was that the one where it was absolutely insane?
That's right.
If he'd stayed in that form for the subsequent seasons, I think that there would absolutely have been a case. I think David De Gea...
No, I mean, and we may get back to that. Although we're unsure. But during this run of nostalgia games, have we actually seen him? 2016 semi-final.
Yeah, he played in that game, didn't he?
In that game, yes.
Yeah, because he saved a pen. He played very well in that game. But no, I mean, it was a sheer joy to watch Peter Schmeichel get the ball and hit 2/3 of the length of the pitch.
Miles, yeah. Shouting, lot of shouting from Schmeichel. I don't think we saw him make a real rick in any of these games either, did we?
No, that free kick in 91's pretty ropey, isn't he? He's misled, I suppose, is a generous
91?
way of putting it. Yeah, the Cup Winners' Cup final. Oh no, that's not even him,
is it?
It's not
him. It's
what am I thinking of? Am I thinking of there was, I don't know what I'm thinking of, but anyway, there's the one where he makes the big rick. Maybe it was actually in 99 that he did that.
Against
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, he was great, and Van der Sar was pretty ropey in the games that we watched him in. I have to say, we picked some bad ones for Van der Sar.
Yeah, so Schmeichel's our keeper. I think that's fairly obvious. Van der Sar, excellent 2008 Cup final. Decent. Well, he saved a penalty.
No, he had a terrible game. He saved a penalty. That's all he did. He was rubbish in that game, like falling over.
Well, they all kept falling over. At least he didn't let one in at the near post, which he did in subsequent European Cup finals.
Oh, really?
I've never said that before, but I mean, no. I'm revealing something here. Anyway, let's get on to the rest of the defence, because it's pretty hard. Do you want to go right back, centre back, left back, or are you going with some kind of funky formation?
No, I mean, really, the only funky formation that I would possibly do is just not pick a right back, because I've gone with Gary Neville completely by default. He did not. I don't think he had a bad game at right back in this run of fixtures. He had a pretty bad game at centre back. Although maybe I think he was playing at right back when Robbie Fowler absolutely destroyed him and all his family.
Destroyed him. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that G-Nev has had a decent game in this run at all.
Maybe not. Yeah. So have you gone with Wes Brown from the 2008?
No, I cheated because I just couldn't think of a decent right-back performance. So I've shifted Dennis Irwin over to the right-back because he's got two here, bombing up and down the left wing against Juve in 99. Oh, no, maybe he's just got that one that I'm thinking of. That is outrageous cheating because the thing is, it'd be cheating to pick Dennis Irwin at right back in an all-time United 11, and he played loads at right back for United, but did he play right back once in this run of games? No, but I haven't got another. I kind of there just aren't any other right backs.
All right, you know who I'm picking? I'm picking John O'Shea.
John O'Shea has had a couple of. I did think about that, and I was like,
John O'Shea.
There's nothing great about any of those performances.
He nutmegged Figo in one of them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, in the 4-3. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I'm doing my edit on the fly. O'Shea is in at right back in my team. It didn't occur to me to pick him until just now.
Megs. You didn't call Megs though. I've looked at that video 100 times.
I think it's pretty. For me, I didn't find it too hard to pick the centre back partnership because we did see both of these players playing very well. Rio, who was just absolutely majestic every time we watched him. I think I can't really think. Oh well, it was the Lukaku thing that happened in the last game we watched.
It was the Lukaku thing that happened. Well, for all 4 minutes of it, but didn't he play in that 2001 game at Spurs? Did he?
Maybe had he even signed? Yeah, that one eludes me.
Yes, he did. He signed that summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't remember.
So yeah, all right. Maybe that was a knock against him. But I don't seem to remember that it was him that made the absolutely egregious defensive errors that led to Spurs' goals in that game. And he put in, as soon as I was thinking about this, I just saw a tackle where he broke up a potential counter-attack late in the 2008 Champions League final. It was an absolutely spectacular bit of defending. And alongside him, just very easy decision for me, Jaap Stam. I mean, he's just so good. And when did we see him? We saw him in the 99 game against Barcelona, and we saw him in the 99 game against Juventus.
Rio didn't play. It was Laurent Blanc and Ronnie Johnson.
That's right, because it's Laurent Blanc who made the absolute howlers. Yeah.
I mean, just a couple of shout-outs here for great performances. Steve Bruce, 1991 Cup Final. Cup Winners' Cup Final, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
And not just saying that because I took the piss out of him at some point this season. And Martin Buchan in the 77 Cup Final against a really good Liverpool attack was very good as well.
Yeah, in fact, I wonder whether I might go with Buchan over Rio because, I mean, I wouldn't go Buchan over Rio in an all-time United 11, but maybe that performance was the equal of the 2008 Champions League final.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a tight one, isn't it? Yeah.
What about Buchan over Stam? Because actually, the game that Stam kind of featured in heavily, Inzaghi did do him a couple of times in that game.
He did?
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Yapstam, you're out. Martin Buchan's in. Yeah, so my back four, well, I think we sort of seem to be coming up with a bit of a collective one here. We'll see if we massively fall out over anything later. But at the moment, Schmeichel, O'Shea, Ferdinand Buchan. And at left back, I've gone Patrice Evra.
Yeah. I think he's got two outstanding performances in this series against Arsenal in the 1999 Champions League semi-final, where he's outstanding, covering for...
You just said... No, Evra. I said Evra.
Evra.
Yeah, Evra was not in the Arsenal 19... Oh, you said 1909... There we go, we got muddled.
2009.
Yeah.
Patrice Evra, 2009 Champions League semi-final at the Emirates, where he played two roles in one that night. And then the 2008 Champions League final as well. He's absolutely flawless. Great performance.
Played in the 12-13 game against City as well and was really good in that. And I think he was also playing in the 10-11 game against Liverpool. And I think he was good in that as well. So, yeah, I think Evra gets in. I mean, I think there's a perfectly reasonable shout that overall you would have Owen ahead of Evra, but I kind of always assumed that I would have Owen over Evra, and revisiting Evra as kind of, holding him in even higher esteem. So
yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, as I was trying to cheat, I thought Owen was very good in that game away at Juve. None of the goals came down his side either. So
no,
but Evra has got more collective performances. Yeah.
So my midfield is upsettingly predictable, I think. I was trying to make this interesting and I've completely failed. So I'm going to just go through the collective.
So what is this, 4 or 3 midfielders? Because I've got 3 who are definitely midfielders and one who could play.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I've got them set up in a 4-4-2, but you could easily play this exact same lineup in a 4-3-3. But I think you get the best out of David Beckham playing him in a 4-4-2.
True.
And David Beckham is 100% in the team of Game Club.
I mean, the comeback against Spurs at White Hart Lane, where he's absolutely magnificent, gets it alone, doesn't it? Without anything else.
Yeah. And the goal in the 99
Cup semi is fantastic, yeah.
His all-round performance in the game against Juve is excellent. He's just brilliant every time we've watched him. A player whose legacy is not appreciated in anything like the glowing terms it should be from a footballing perspective. David Beckham at his best is an absolute joy to behold as a footballer, I think.
Yeah, I think if he had a bit more pace and took players on, he'd be thought of differently.
Yeah.
But because the magic, his magic sauce was that kind of whipped-in ball and his range of passing, but especially the whipped-in ball, it's not revered as highly, I think. But he was an outstanding player for United, sadly left too soon for many reasons, but was a very good player for Real Madrid as well. And he was outstanding when we saw him in our run of games.
He was absolutely brilliant, worth a mention, in the game against Real Madrid when he came on and made a massive difference.
That's true, yeah. Didn't
Fergie
start it because he was falling out with Fergie at that stage.
Should we play Ole on the right? No, maybe not.
No, I'm going to skip that one, yeah.
Hey, who was the first name on your central midfield team sheet in this run of games?
Yeah, well, it's predictably Roy Keane. I mean, we watched that one. I don't know whether you caught...
let's talk about it.
We referenced and talked about. I thought, like, anyway, we're talking about Michael Cox's piece for The Athletic, which he'd kind of flagged on Twitter prior to this, and we've had him on the show a couple of times. I've met him in the past. He's a great guy and been a good guest on this show. And that's all a preface to say that is just an awful take. Just an awful take.
It's the worst.
Roy Keane was magnificent in this game. Magnificent.
Yeah. I had a message saying, I see Michael Cox calling you and Ed a liar. It's like, yeah, calling us out directly, because that article came out like a week after this episode, and we'd kind of said, almost literally, Roy Keane massively lives up to the hype in this game, and he does. But he lived up to the hype every game. I mean, how many times did you describe him as 2 players in one in this run of games?
It was fantastic when United beat City in 93.
Yeah.
So Eric Cantona scored a couple, Roy Keane scored the winner. And he's awesome every time. It's really only that last 18 months where he became a bit of a shadow of the former player when he became much more that defensive player. He just wasn't. I mean, in fact, some of the earliest games we did in this period when Roy Keane was bombing ahead of the ball all the time.
Yeah, and
two players in one.
Brilliant in those games. But, 99, when he's at his absolute peak, I mean, he's just magnificent. But he was magnificent in the other game, the game against Real Madrid, where I talked about him not taking Figo out when you kind of thought he was going to. But it's just a fantastic run of games. I think there was one game that he played in where he wasn't a standout star that we watched, and every other game he featured in, he was, if not the best player on the park, then, in the top 2 or 3 players when you're talking about world stars all over the pitch on both teams. A staggering talent. I found it really difficult to pick who played alongside him, though, and I'm kind of looking forward to hearing who you picked and why to shift my thinking.
Yeah. Well, I'll go sort of backwards. So honourable mentions for Michael Carrick, 2007 performance versus Roma. I don't think we watched him be outstanding in any other game, but
he was really good in one of the last couple of games we watched as well. The 12-13 game against City, possibly.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. For Brian Robson, central midfield against Barcelona 1991, Cup Winners' Cup final, very good. Sort of, I was going to say coming to the end of his career, but he wasn't really, was he? He was sort of 30 or so.
Possibly should have been maybe coming towards the end of it. The next few years of Brian Robson were mostly symbolic.
He was Bionic Man by that point, wasn't he? So,
yeah.
But the winner, I thought, was Bobby Charlton. He's outstanding in that 68 Cup final.
Yeah.
Controls the midfield. It's just a lovely, lovely kind of balance and pace to his game, how he moves the ball, and then obviously scored the 2 goals as well.
Yeah, I think that's the right shout. I mean, we have to talk about Paul Scholes as well, because Paul Scholes in that game against Liverpool in 10-11, I was so glad that we got that game, because we'd seen him a few times and he'd been slightly underwhelming, or certainly not the most important player on the park. But in that game, that was just peak late period Scholes, and I do think that is actually, funnily enough, that is the best version of Scholes. Actually, is the kind of dictator of play that he became.
It's interesting because, of course, he started as a forward. His first season with the club, he scored 16 or something goals, didn't he, as a forward? And then he dropped back into midfield. And, I mean, his detractors who take today's game and metrics and try and apply it to him say he doesn't score enough goals and he didn't get enough assists, much as they say about Ryan Giggs. But I don't think it was fair, because he spent much of the latter part of his career being the sort of more of a Pirlo and less of a Lampard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we didn't really catch a really good Paul Scholes early career scoring goals, shooting from distance type performance, did we?
No, we didn't watch any of the ones where he scored any of his classic goals particularly, or anything like that. I mean, I do think him and Keane are my all-time United 11 central midfield partnership. But yeah, I'd go with Bobby Charlton alongside, because he was brilliant in that game, and perhaps talent wise and ability wise, Charlton's obviously right up there with the greats of all time in football, and Ballon d'Or winner, World Cup winner, European Cup winner, just a revered figure. It's strange picking players from a different era because the game just looks so different, but he had a kind of modern sensibility about him in a way, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation before about what players from the past could fit into any era. I'm sure Bobby Charlton could. I don't know whether he'd play in midfield like we saw him. Of course, he played in more forward positions as well. I mean, mainly there. But excellent in this game. Sure, he'd fit into the modern game. He'd have to get a different haircut. That's just unforgivable. Can you imagine a modern day footballer with a comb over?
Talking about unforgivable haircuts, though, a modern footballer who in the noughts had the most noughties haircut you've ever seen, and no noughties haircut stands the test of time. Reluctantly and with regret, but with absolutely no meaningful debate, I have to pick Cristiano Ronaldo on the left wing of this team.
Yeah, I mean, when I first scribbled out my 11, I instinctively put Giggs for 99, not because he played well, because he came on as a sub, of course, but just for that goal. But then I was like counting up the good performances. And I mean, two in particular, his performance against Arsenal away in 2009 in the Champions League semi-final was just another level of just ridiculousness. In which Wayne Rooney was brilliant as well in that game, and Park Ji-sung. Not that Park is going to make my 11, but also his debut versus Bolton we watched as well.
Electric.
Most electric 20 minutes, isn't it? And he's very good in the Champions League 2008 final as well.
Brilliant, and that's all without mentioning Roma.
Right.
So, I mean, every time he plays, watching him play, it's upsetting because of a degree of personal antipathy. But never mind any of that. You separate the art from the artist, and Cristiano Ronaldo is just probably the best player that's ever played for Man United, which is, maybe it's Roy Keane, but I thought if it's not Roy Keane, it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Many people would say George Best, but I haven't seen enough of. I've seen, like, I imagine everyone our age and younger is the same, really. I've had a few videos, but maybe only the 68 Cup final video when I was younger, and all the goals highlights that you can get. That's it.
Yeah, and that performance in 68, I talked about it to death, but like the absolute, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo can be rightly accused of occasionally putting himself first, but my God, George, absolutely outrageous, and he would have.
But you still have him on the bench though in this team, wouldn't you? I mean, it's the spark that creates United's win. His goal early into extra time in that game, and it is a very, very fine goal as well.
Yeah, and he was a magician, wasn't he? He was an absolute magician. And if you get a manager who, because in the 60s, he didn't have to play, he could just do exactly what he wanted to do. I mean, Bobby Charlton talks about how frustrating it was to play with him, but, the instruction was just give it to Georgie, and you could do that. And there's no way you could do that with anyone now. There's nobody that could have that level of license now, but he would have been able to adapt.
Cristiano... Messi's much more tactically disciplined than Cristiano, for example. I mean, Cristiano basically plays up front now, or, just off the left in a front three. In his early career, Fergie gave him some of that license. But in the 68 Cup final, Best starts on the right, nominally. But because Ashton is down the left. But he doesn't stay there for long, does he?
Yeah, and John Ashton probably deserves an honourable mention, actually, for left-wing contenders for that. It was amazing.
He was playing park football 2 years later. But there you go. Forwards are hard. These two forwards are hard. This is hard,
Really? Maybe you'll convince me that it's hard. I found it pretty straightforward to make this decision, really. The first pick, I think, we've talked about this a lot, both on the show and just in our regular lives off the show. But the one of the great joys of this has been, for me, the revisiting of the legacy of Andy Cole, and what a phenomenal all-round forward he was. And we definitely saw him at his best a number of times. But yeah, I think one of the great undiscovered, untreasured gems. I mean, not that he isn't. His name's been sung ever since he left. In that, I noticed in the 5-5 against West Brom, there was a bit early when United were winning by miles that they did the songbook, and Andy Cole's name got sung, and rightly so.
My only challenge with Andy Cole is, and I agree with everything you said there, it was a good opportunity to reassess him as a player and realise what a good all-round player he was, not just a goal scorer, fox in the box type, was that I thought in aggregate, he's very good. I don't know if any of them were outstanding performances.
The 3-3 against Barcelona.
Was it him or was it York that was outstanding?
It was both of them that were outstanding. Yeah, but together they were great in the sum of their parts. But I thought he was also outstanding against Juve in that 3-2. York again outstanding in that game. But no, I mean, you're right. Ultimately, it was the aggregate impact of Andy Cole. I think couldn't do a Game Club 11 without him in it, because he's been such a big part of the experience for me of just of watching all these games. Like Andy Cole's just been this huge kind of rediscovery and enjoyment of.
I was on the fence with Cole. Cole and York, I was on the I mean, I suppose you could have both of them, but there's someone else you got to have. So a few honourable mentions. I mean, maybe some of these players are in your team. I don't know. Robin Van Persie just for 2013 against City and that goal.
It's just
I
just love him more than I should. But yeah, not on my team.
Berbatov for his hat-trick against Liverpool.
Absolutely,
we didn't see him in another game, did we? Or
no. And as we discussed at length on the bonus content after that, he didn't really have. He had like one other good game for United ever, basically, and then he did that thing on the touchline against West Ham.
Just on the strength of this game, 100% outstanding performances.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And Wayne Rooney.
Oh, he's an honourable mention for you.
Honourable mention.
Okay.
You can make the argument for why he should be in the team then.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out
hat-trick on debut, obviously, and the Champions League 2009 game. Were there
and every single time he played, he looked absolutely unbelievable, and I felt really bad about all the terrible things I said about him for years.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. Again, I was on the fence with this one. I mean, I plumped for Cantona just because he was outstanding in that 96 semi and in the 93 City game.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't outstanding in any other game we saw him. 95 comeback, wasn't it? But is Eric Cantona?
Yeah, no, but I deliberately didn't put him in the team for that reason. Like, if he'd been on the team on merit, I absolutely would have done it. But I think that in totality, Rooney has been better in this run of games than Eric. Because
he probably has been, but I don't know.
It's against your religion to put Rooney in Evans over Eric.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, what if we do Rooney and Eric over Andy Cole? But I actually don't think I want Eric in the team over Andy Cole in this run. I think Cole and Rooney is the front two of the Game Club. That's my take on this.
Oh. You're probably right, but I just think it's wrong. So.
Well, Eric can be the first. Did you do a bench then
in this list of great and good?
I think that's a really good 11 based on what we saw. And now, even though it's only been
Schmeichel, O'Shea, Buchan. Who was the other one? Did you say Rio in the end?
Yeah, Buchan, Rio,
Evra, Beckham, Charlton, Keane, Cristiano,
Andy Cole,
Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
I mean, my list I've got down here. I'm persuadable. Yeah. My list initially was Schmeichel, Irwin, Buchan, Bruce, Evra, Beckham, Charlton, Keane, Cristiano, York, Cantona. But then I had every other.
You had York. Yeah,
but then I had every other player listed in my subs. So there's no.
Okay, so maybe what we say is we take Rio out and put Steve Bruce in, because I think that's fine. I think that's much of a muchness, really. I think they both did about the same job, but Rio gets in every combined 11 or starting 11 or best 11 that I've ever done.
Let me be clear, Rio is a much better player.
Yeah,
much better player.
We'll go with Bruce and Buchan
as well.
So I'm putting Rio first name on the bench. Actually, Dave can go on the bench. Then Rio. Then we want Scholes on the bench. Giggs.
How many subs do we get?
Well, we got 7.
Is this 60 subs? You only get 1.
No, we get 7 subs.
Is this 90 subs? So you get 3, and that was an aggregate of our Game Club nostalgia.
Yeah.
Or is this 10 subs, 2010 subs, where you get 7, or is it 2020 subs where you're going to get, I think,
5.
The entire squad?
Yeah, and 5 subs allowed.
And 5 actual subs.
Well, we can't not have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the bench. Like, it's impossible because he literally. Oh no! Wait a minute. We didn't watch it. We didn't watch
the 99 final.
Sorry, Ole, you're not on the bench. All right. So
we've
let's
only watched one champion. Oh no, two European Cup finals we've watched.
So if we've got 7 subs, we need to have York because he should be there, and Cantona. So we might have 3 centre forwards on the bench. So Dave,
we haven't talked about who's the manager.
I mean, we waxed lyrical about this for a long time on Monday's show.
We have what managers did we actually? Fergie,
Busby, no Ron Atkinson, Doherty, and Louis Van Gaal.
And Van Gaal, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Fergie.
It's obviously Fergie.
I'm sorry. Sorry to say again, it's Fergie.
Best assistant, Archie Knox. We saw in the 86.
Yeah.
McLaren 99s. Yeah. Kieros. We had a brief appearance of.
It's probably him, isn't it?
Mid 2000s, and tight shorts.
Yeah.
Later on,
I think Fergie would say it was I was going to say McPherson. Fergie would say it was Carlos Queiroz.
Yeah, he would do. I think he's the one he respected most as a coach.
Yeah, so. that added most.
And not many assistants go from assistant at Manchester United to Real Madrid manager.
No, absolutely not. I guess we give it to Queiroz. But, I mean, listen, this was the Fergie show,
Best
wasn't
owners
it?
during this time.
We did a lot of non-Fergie shows, like a little handful of about a quarter of the shows were not Fergie, but this was like a Fergie retrospective, and it was absolutely glorious because we watched all these different styles, all these different teams, and they all had the same feeling about them. They all had that same sense of collective and shared purpose and endeavour and courage and all the things that you associate with a great Fergie side. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And it's going to be so weird. I mean, as if football isn't weird enough at what we're going back to, but it's going to be so weird just watching regular, ordinary footballers rather than these sort of legends of the game like Steve Bruce and Martin Buchan.
It is regular, ordinary footballers. But look, it's we are a week. As you guys hear this, we'll be a week away from United playing Spurs at White Hart Lane. Not White Hart Lane. What are they calling their new stadium?
Wherever it's called. I think it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah. Naming rights lane, as they call it on another podcast.
I've never heard that. That's really good.
So, yeah, it is going to be weird. The United squad back in full contact training, which has been fun watching some of that, the bits and pieces that come out, looking fit. Harry Maguire looks like he's lost a ton of weight. Hope he's all right. He hasn't caught the plague. Got the Ronies.
There was a couple of honourable mentions I meant to do, actually, talking of people who got poorly, and Darren Fletcher and Nicky Butt in central midfield, both worthy of an honourable mention.
They were for it's one-off performances. Yeah, so I mean, Nicky Butt, we saw him a few times actually, just kicking,
just everybody. For violence, for service, MBE for services to violence.
Yeah, and Fletcher obviously for his performance in the 2009 semi at Arsenal, which was outstanding, and he was completely robbed.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so we kind of did this on the last show, but massive thanks to everyone who's tuned in. We had a few more nice messages from people since then. So thank you to everyone who's taken the time out to do that. And it's going to be weird talking about contemporary football, but I have to say I'm very much looking forward to it. So
yeah, me too. And I hope it passes off safely, and none of the players get ill. There was I think one of the Stoke coaches. Stoke were supposed to play United in a behind closed door friendly.
Right.
Today, we're recording on Wednesday, but it was cancelled because one of the Stoke coaches was got a positive test.
Right.
So we might see that. I mean, they won't cancel a Premier League game if one of the players or coaches from one of the teams is tested positive. That's not the protocol they're going with. So. Taking a risk there for sure. But we're going to get games. We're going to get games at all the proper stadiums as well. So they've ditched the neutral venues idea.
Oh, really?
So, yes, after much discussion with local police, all the final objections have been removed. So, yeah.
Wow.
Liverpool fans, behave yourself if you win at Goodison Park. Please.
Yeah.
And United fans, don't go absolutely bonkers if we make it into 4th place.
United! All right. Well, not long before we do a season preview and predict that United win the league, because we're going to romp the next 2 months of the league and be the Clausura winners.
Talking of watching training videos and stuff, I've forgotten who it is. It's one of the there's like a private training company where some of the United players have been going, and they post some videos. I'll send it over to you when I remember who it is. Like RH Elite Sports or something, something like that, yeah, nondescript. And they've got a few videos on there of Bruno Fernandes taking long shots, which is good fun, actually. Just, it's training, like just pinging them in from every single angle, yeah.
He's a ridiculous man.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, very much so. So Liverpool, congratulations on winning the Apertura. We'll see who wins the Clausura over the next couple of months.
Yeah, that'll be the moral victory, won't it?
Just wanted to
romp home with 9 wins out of 9.
Exactly. I wanted to do 2 shout-outs. One, I want to shout out in solidarity to everyone who's protesting for Black Lives Matter. We couldn't have we couldn't have your backs more than we can. Like, this is just a very important platform, and it's not going to surprise any one of our listeners in the world to know where we come down on this stuff. And the other thing I wanted to do on a kind of more personal note is just a big shout out to Richard Cann from the Red Voices podcast, who I know has been going through a really tough time, and we send all our love. Too.
I meant to send him a message, and so this is the message.
Yeah,
because I saw it quite late, and then I was like, it feels out of place to send a tweet. But yes, I think that's right.
We love you, and so. Everyone else will see you. Well, everyone will see you on Monday with some talk about actual Man United. It's going to be confusing and wonderful. We'll see you then.
All right. Bye now. Thank you.
For that.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.